Welcome to the Office 2010 Conditional Formatting Mini Masterclass. There may be on occasions when you need to indicate or flag a series of figures that are either under, within, or outside of a range, such as sales figures. Within Excel, there is an action that uses color codes or symbols to quickly identify these. This is called conditional formatting. Let's look at the sample spreadsheet. In this example, the sheet contains sample data relating to Q1 sales figures. In the spreadsheet, you will see two areas, the data on the left and the parameters or conditions on the right. When the sales figures fall outside a range, you may want to color code these cells. You could manually set these colors for each of the cells, but this means as each cell changes, that you'll have to manually reset the cells. So how was this achieved? First of all, we need to select the range of data that we're going to clear the conditional formatting from. We then move on to the ribbon bar inside of the Styles group, which contains conditional formatting. Within the conditional formatting options, we have highlighting cell rules, top and bottom rules, data bars, color scales, icon sets, and the management of the rules. We're going to clear down the rule for this range. We select Clear Rules and Clear Rules for selected cells. Once the cells have been selected and cleared down, we're going to move back into the Styles and Conditional Formatting. Within Conditional Formatting, we are going to select the Highlight Cell rules. Three rules are going to be applied: less than, between, and greater than. Starting with the less than option. A less than dialog box appears. On the right hand side, we have a color coding which can actually be changed from the drop down. Some of these options will be applied later. On the left hand side of the dialog box, we have a less than value. If any of the values inside of the data range fall below this, they will appear in red. We can type in a manual value in this area. Once it's been typed in, you'll see the representation in the data has been changed. However, if you needed to change this value, you would have to revisit the less than dialog box once more by going back into Conditional Formatting, less than, and then reapplying the settings once more. On this occasion, we're going to be using a set value contained in our parameter window. Selecting the less than value of 200,000, you'll see instantly that the Q1 sales figures have changed. The setting on this occasion for the less than is a light red fill and dark red text. Once applied, I may want to apply other settings, such as the between with the yellow background. Also, I may want to apply a third condition, which is the greater than, with a green background. To create these new rules, we need to move back into Conditional Formatting, selecting Highlight Cell Rules, and then selecting Between. The Between dialog box appears. In this dialog box, two figures need to be removed. The bottom figure, which is going to be representing the lower value of the between, and that's going to be located in location I7. The top figure also needs to be removed, and this is going to be represented by J7. Both of these figures are made absolute by default. We're now going to change the color scheme for that particular range. Instead of being red, we're going to have a yellow effect. Once this has been applied, the data range updates. We're now going to apply our third and final condition, the greater than. Once more, we move back into Conditional Formatting, highlight the cells, but this time we choose greater than. The value once more is going to be changed to represent a cell, location K7, which is representing the greater than value of 750,000. To complete the condition, we apply a green fill and OK. Now that we have all three conditions applied, we can change the conditional formatting range values in the less than and the greater than area. We first of all select the less than value of 200,000 and change it to a new value. Once this has been applied, the parameter value of 200,000 is now changed to 150,000, also representing the color scheme change in Q1 sales. In a similar situation with the greater than value of 750,000, when we change that figure to a different value, you'll see the immediate effect it has on the parameter window value between and the Q1 sales figures. And this brings us to the end of conditional formatting using highlight cell rules. Conditional formatting using icon sets. Within this session, we're going to be using conditional formatting icon sets. I already have the data selected. I'm going to clear any conditions that may apply in the background by selecting Conditional Formatting, Clear Rules from selected cells. Once this has been achieved, We then move back into conditional formatting and down to icon sets. Within the icon sets we have a number of different options: directional, shapes, indicators, and ratings. We're going to concentrate on the directional arrows, the 3 arrows coloured. The data range has already been updated, but this is not totally correct. It needs configuring in the background by changing values. Once this has been applied, we move back into conditional formatting to change these settings. Selecting conditional formatting and manage rules. Within manage rules, we actually select the icon set to be changed. We edit that rule. You'll notice down the left hand side we have the icon set selected earlier on. However, on the right hand side it's actually displaying the values as being percentages. Therefore, if anything is greater than 67%, it will display as a green arrow. Other conditions apply, so we're going to change the settings from percentages to numbers. I want to use a set of figures from the parameter window, so I move the dialog box down. On this occasion I want to select the 650,000 greater than value. The green arrow pointing upwards will appear when the value is greater than or equal to that set value. I remove the current value and point to the greater than value in the parameter window, 650,000. I'm now going to set the parameters for the in-between, the yellow horizontal arrow. This is currently not set and requires 2 parameters. One of these parameters is actually taken from the formula from the previous setting. Again, we change the figures and we point to a lower value. Value on this occasion is between the 230,000 and the 650,000, so I select location H7. Moving back into any part of the dialog box, we'll then finalise our settings. Once applied, any figures that are below 230,000 will appear in red. Between 230,000 and 650,000 will appear in yellow. Any figures above 650,000 will appear with a green arrow. And this brings us to the end of conditional formatting icon sets.